こんにちは、ニューロンドンの新田です。今日はルアーが家に来ているので、今までの学校教育で日本についてどう学んだかっていうのを聞いていきたいなと思います。欧米教育では、どういうふうに日本が捉えられていて、どういったことを日本のどういったことを学んでいるのかっていうのをちょっと今回聞いていきたいなと思います。So, did you learn about Japan in school?
Well, I did, but I think, I guess the same as Japan, most of my lessons were about Australia and Australian history. So I would say most of the things that people learn about Japan aren't from school and are from like TV and films, like if you like anime or like often like documentaries, that kind of thing. But we did learn about Japan if Japan and Australia like interacted in some way. So yeah.
So what did you learn about?
Well, I guess the biggest thing that Japan and Australia have interacted with is about World War II. So Australia and Japan were both in World War One, but we didn't really like interact at all. But we learned a lot about Japan had some pretty brutal prisoner of war camps that a lot of Australians were in, especially the one near Changi Prison in Singapore. And also Japan did some of the largest bombings of Australia too, especially the bombing of Darwin. So we learned about those things mostly. But that was, in the context of the whole war. So, yeah.
In Japanese school, we learned about Hiroshima and Nagasaki nuclear bomb. And that was the main topic we talked about with regards to World War II. Did you learn about Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Yeah, we did. We did for sure. I guess that was one of the key things that like kind of ended the war. So it was definitely a topic that we covered. We learnt about it quite a lot.
We went to Hiroshima on a school trip as well.
So like when you study about the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in school, what kind of like perspective do you have on it?
Yeah, that was an awful thing that happened in the past, and we learned about it a lot, and then try not to try not to have war like never again. Yeah, we learned that. How was it framed in your school, like in Australia?
Well, I guess one of the key differences is that we talk about how it was a key thing to end the war. I think mostly we do see it as like a horrible tragedy. And I think most almost all Australians would agree that it shouldn't have happened and it was awful. But I guess there's like in all lessons, maybe if you guys have spoken to native speakers before, you know giving an opinion is quite important in English. So in all lessons, even history lessons, we will have a discussion time at the end to talk about what had happened. And whenever we would talk about Hiroshima or Nagasaki, the discussion topic is usually like, was this like a necessary evil to stop the war? Like, did this thing save many other lives from being lost from the war continuing? And I think it was not necessary and a horrible thing to happen. And that I think it's a really, really horrible thing.
Do people learn Japanese in school?
Yes, actually. When I was in school, so like almost 10 years ago now, Japanese was the most popular language to be taught in my state. And which is kind of unusual because there aren't many Japanese people in Australia. but it was a lot to do with strong trade relations between Australia and Japan. But the other popular language, I didn't learn Japanese in school, I learned Italian in school. But nowadays it's changing a bit, and I think up there like Chinese is really, really popular to learn. There are many Chinese people in Australia, people who have been living in Australia for a very, very long time. And also as China's Australia's biggest trade partner, so I think that's the most popular language to learn now. But still, lots of people learn Japanese in school.
In like junior high?
Yeah, junior high, high school. Oh, in Australia we don't have junior high or high school, it's just all one 6-year high school. So did you learn about Australia in school at all?
Well, as I remember, no.
No?
No. We learned about like worldwide history, about mainly about Europe, that kind of thing. Not Australia. No, I didn't learn about Australia, or I think.
Yeah, I think most people don't learn about Australia that much. Even my friends from overseas, who from other Western countries, are surprised to hear that Australia was even in World War I and World War II. So they didn't even know. So I don't think Australia studied too much outside of Australia. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think it's a interesting thing to learn about what other people have learned about your country before you go, and there's many different perspectives. So I think it's a valuable thing to think about. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe for more content and to leave a like on this video. And if you have any questions, or if you learned anything interesting about Australia in your school, please let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. So thank you very much.
それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。またね。
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, and by the way, my hair is now a slightly different color because I bleached it completely blonde with my mates, but I really didn't suit it. It didn't look good. So yeah, the night before work, Sunday night, I went to the salon and I got it dyed back, and I got it dyed back to my natural color. But of course it washes and fades out. Even permanent dye fades a little bit. So now it's a slightly different color.